I walk out there, I see the dude, and I'm like, yo, what's up, man? This is for you. You know, like I'm trying to like create this like energy of like I have this under control.
Yeah, yeah.
And right when I said this is for you, he hit me back with like, all right, bro, can't wait to see it. I like freeze up at that point. I'm like, wait, I actually have to do something right now.
Yeah,
and I hadn't practiced or anything. I just showed up off the strength.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Dude, I started singing and my voice started shaking. And I was like, yo, I'm seriously nervous.
You weren't prepared. Now. You weren't prepared.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I was like, and at that point, I left out of there. And I don't think I took it serious either because of the love I was getting on campus.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was also a part of me that was like, I don't need this show. Like, I'm going to just,
the ego was flying at that point.
The ego was the enemy. There.
That's always the enemy. It's always the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was killing you at that moment. Yep.
Yeah.
But bring us out of that though. Cause you beat it. Teach us how to beat
it. Exactly. So that was like the lowest moment. I walk out of there and I'm just like I missed my moment. Like America's Got Talent. Like that's it. Like I'm just going to figure out this music thing and go from there. So then comes my junior year of college. I now put out multiple albums. Like I'm starting to really get a groove of like how songwriting works, all this stuff. And that's strictly because campus, like different like places on campus wanted me to do performances because my whole thing was creating music that connected like with the students and like created this whole thing. So I had like grown from like 700 Instagram followers when I first got to college to like 10,000 with the help of my buddy Chris Diaz, who now works like on my management team when
He's
it comes
on
to
your
like public relations
side, right?
and like yeah. So Chris Diaz, he had helped me out and we had this whole game plan on how we were going to take over. And he helped me like target like the whole Phoenix area, ASU, GCU, everything down to the U of A. Yeah, like all of it. Like he had like these algorithms. This when Instagram was easier to use. This was that era when you saw people liking and commenting on like a lot of people's stuff, and like they had like a lot of followers. He figured out how they did that, and he had like this whole algorithm set up where I was like targeting like people out in Phoenix that would want to come out to shows and stuff. And we just started getting some momentum. Like we were moving.
And was this off of that first project that you created in your dorm room?
Yeah, off of the first project. But then I created like what's called the Lope Anthem, which was like the GCU were the antelopes. And I created like this anthem. Yeah. And I created this whole anthem. I have Lopes Up tattooed on my butt cheek. Sorry.
I would say show us, but I don't want to get demonetized, man.
And also, I don't think GCU wants you showing your ass with Go Lopes on it either.
I also think our intern, who's also my girlfriend, who's not really our intern at all, but we call her that, she'll probably bust in the room if she hears me asking some dude to show me his ass. So we'll skip that part. But let's go to the fourth audition because we're 4 out of 5 now.
The anthem, yeah.
Yeah, we're 4 out of 4. Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
So I had all of this momentum. Things were going good. But also I saw how much work it took to just get to that point. I was like, man, like we're grinding every day. And I'm like, all right, I graduate in 2 years. I'm like, yo, you're grinding, but like, I didn't know if I was up for like continuously going in that direction and like being broke and like doing all these things. Yo, like I got to figure out something. Cause it's like, I'm also trying to take care of my family. I'm trying to take care of my mom. I'm trying to take care of all these different things.
Yep.
And I was like, man, Joe, you got to figure something out. And then that's when I was like, I have music and I have a song that did somewhat some numbers on social media. It was called College Student Budget. And it was just a song that a lot of college students could relate with. So I went,
name.
So crazy enough, I was like, okay, like I'm going to go to America's Got Talent and I'm going to do one of my songs and I'm going to see if they rock with it.
Yeah.
I showed up. And when I started doing my song, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but there was oh shoot, I'll blame it on the beer. There was I went into the room the 12 people room and I performed the song. And after performing the song, the producer, he was like, everybody wait outside the room. He was like, there might have been a problem with the camera. If we didn't get the audio for one of the cameras, I need one of you guys to come back inside. We'll call in one of you guys if there was a problem, but the camera seemed to have skipped. So all of us are waiting outside the room, and then someone peeks their head out. They're like, Joseph Allen, we need you to redo your thing. Everybody else, like, we'll contact you, you know, with the next portion of the process. But have a good day.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, and I came back into the room, and I just had this weird, surreal moment where I was like, I've seen them, like, they've said that to me every, like, all 3 years, where we wait outside the room and then they send us off where it's like, we'll let you know, we'll contact you.
Yeah.
If we're moving forward with the process. And when I came into the room, dude handed me a packet. And he was like, all right, now you're about to go audition in front of, like, the real producers.
Whew.
I was like, yo, what? And immediately I was like, are you telling me for the last 3 years, I haven't even been in front of, like, the real producers?
Yeah.
And I found out that they had a smart system where they had 20 people helping vet out, you know, who gets filtered through to the ones that really make the big decisions.
Yeah.
So then I like get escorted to, like, this secret room. Damn, I'm saying a whole bunch right now. I get escorted to the secret room.
Yeah.
And when I got there,
you got kidnapped.
no. I got cloned, and now you see. No, when I got there, there was like 4 producers. There was like a microphone, a speaker system, a fake stage, like all of this stuff. And I found out that they only see like up to 40 people per audition city that they go through.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then someone with an eye on their forehead came out. There was like this whole seance, like, down on the floor. And I was like, and yeah, I sold my soul, man. It was
go on.
In that room.
Go on. We just became the #1 podcast. Full send, Joe Rogan. See ya. Keep going. This is great. Don't stop, Joseph.
Give us everything. Yeah, in that room, they started having me go through, like, my whole catalog of music. And they were just like, what other song do you have? And they're like, this one, it's too goofy. Next, this one is too serious. This one. And then they told me, they were like, look, and I did about 2 hours worth of singing for them. Whew. Just going through music, going through songs.
All your original stuff?
Yeah, and they're trying to help me find, like, what can, like, sell on the show. Yeah.
So it sounds like they heard your voice and they loved it, and then they saw your personality, which it sells. You know, I can tell you that now. And now they're like, okay, let's work with you now. All of a sudden, they almost became like a manager, a producer, were a producer, where they're like, all right, let's figure out what works now. So yeah,
they're the #1 talent show in the world for a reason.
Yeah. It's so man. I never even thought about that in depth. Yeah.
Yes. So then after that, they were like, all right, cool. They're like, when you go back home, because you produce everything yourself and you make everything yourself, they were like, just keep sending us stuff so that way we can know what to use for the show. I was like, say no more. Like, I'm on it. Like, y'all finally, like, putting me on right now. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I go back, and they're like, that was in December, and they were like, we'll hit you up in January.
Okay.
With the next steps of the process. I'm like, all right, cool. And I start making music, sending it to them, doing covers, sending it to them, like, doing everything, sending it. Yeah. I was like, forget school, forget all of that. Like, I made it. I'm out of here. You know, that was my whole focus.
Yeah.
And then February comes by, and I got no emails. In January, they stopped. Like, we were emailing back and forth, and then they just stopped out of the blue. And I'm like, yo, what the heck? And I'm like, like they'll get back to me. So I'm making music, sending it to them, making music, sending it to them. Then March comes around and I'm like, I think this is around the time when people like fly out to LA to like do this stuff. But I'm like, they'll hit me up, making music, sending it to them. No emails, no responses, no nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, I took that
crushed you.
I took that so personal because everything down to the first airing of the first episode, I thought there was a glimmer of hope of like, oh, there must be something about the process, just like earlier that I just didn't know.
Yep.
And then the first episode airs and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, are you serious? You guys let me on. At that moment, it was AGT. That's what it was for me.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was like, yo, I don't want nothing else to do with it. Like, I'm gonna just do my music and I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's when it really pushed me to start making, really start taking my music like even more serious. Cause I was just like, yo, like if no one's gonna like help me with it, I'll do it myself. I always have. I taught myself how to race dirt bikes, taught myself how to produce music. I was like, I'm about to teach myself how to become a success with it. And
so that
I started studying.
That was almost like your Jordan moment where
Tom Brady moment, 100%.
Tom Brady
chip
moment.
on the shoulder.
Chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, that's so rare. And I want to dive into the mentality, but keep going. I want to keep hearing where you went from there. But that's incredible, dude. Because for most people, they go, pack it up, done.
Yeah.
Mom's been crushing me on my college. I haven't been going to classes. Now, like I was giving her the hype of AGT, like this is going to go so well. It didn't happen. And
bro,
now I'm here.
I forgot that aspect of it. That's what crushed me.
Yeah.
Was crying on the phone, telling my mom that the hard work is done. Like, I got you from here on out. Like,
yep. That's big, man.
Bro, that's what hurt me the most. And it almost made it embarrassing to go see your family.
I got goosebumps, bro. I got goosebumps,
that's
man.
Crazy.
That's
I thought you were saying black people, man. Black people.
Once again, I don't want to get demonetized. I thought you were gonna say, I thought you were saying time. No, we got plenty of time. In my head, I was like, we're going 45, but this story is this is my favorite show that we've had so far, man. This story is so powerful. I want to keep going. But no, those were goosebumps, man, because I've been through that myself where I told my family, like, yo, I'm going to figure this out. And my mom was old school. She grew up in South Boston. And she was always like, yo, you go to high school, you crush it, you get into a good college, you graduate from that college, you get a nice job, you find a nice girl, you raise that family, and rinse and repeat. And I had to go against that grain. And thankfully, there was something inside of me that brought me through that. And there was something inside of you that kept pushing again, because moms are moms, man. They're our moms, and we love them so much.
Yeah.
And it's hard to upset them in some ways and let them down where they feel like they have this vision of what their kid's life is going to be. And you're like, yo, no, ma, I'm going to create something for myself.
Cry over here.
Yeah. Like I'm going to create something for myself that you can't even imagine, but just trust, ma. But you had to say trust, ma, a lot of times, brother.
Yes, bro. Everything down to changing my major. Do you know what it's like to have that feeling where it's like, I told you to trust me and you did. I can't say thank you enough. And then when she goes, hey, like, what have you, and she tells everyone that she knows, my baby, he's finally done it. And all her friends are like, see, that's why you didn't have to worry. And then when she asks, what's that? And then to tell, like, I don't even know. They haven't messaged me. And then America's Got Talent starts playing on TV. And it's just like, then comes the question of like, yo, did my son like just say something to get me off his back?
Dude, was he lying to me? Yeah.
Right. Because I was, for her, it's like, I wasn't there. My dad, I wasn't there. It's like, what really happened?
Yeah.
Or is he just like a dreamer and like delusional to the point where he thinks like that it went well when really it was like just an average.
And you kept going though.
Yeah, well, so to get I knew I needed to take some pressure off because I'm going into my senior year now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't look like I don't have my shit together. So immediately that summer between junior year and senior year, while America's Got Talent was playing, I learned what it took to pass the course on life and health insurance in Arizona. And I grabbed a life and health insurance license so that way I could show my mom, hey, if nothing else works, like your boy is going to be, selling insurance, call me Joseph from State Farm. Like that's where I was going. That's where I was going with it. If it didn't work out. So I did that as like a not even a safety net for myself, because I knew I wasn't going to sell any insurance, but I knew mentally I couldn't handle the pressure of my mom calling every day my senior year. I mean, like, what are you going to do? Yeah. So I did something so dramatic just to save myself some time, because I knew I was like, I got to figure this music thing out. And I'm like, this is my last year on campus. Like, I have to give it everything and then some. Yeah. Because it's not like I can look back and go, shoot, like, let me on campus just a little bit more. Like, after that, it starts getting a little weird. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You're in the real world at that point. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, I need to buy myself some time. And I bought myself some time by spending time getting the life and health insurance. I got that paper. And after that, when senior year started, I was just like right back to it, just putting out music. And randomly, I got an email before Thanksgiving break from someone from America's Got Talent. And they were like, hey, Joseph, we're doing auditions in San Diego. Can't wait to see the music you've been working on.
They remembered you. They remembered you. And they but that's the, man, dude. But if you don't have that passion to keep going, and you take a different turn once you don't hear back on try 4.
Yeah.
And they hit you with that email, you're like, oh no, I've been working to be like a business major now. But you kept going.
Right. So what's crazy is they hit me. And there was like 8 days before that audition in San Diego. There was 8 days before it, and it was just a random message on some, we can't wait to see what you've been working on some, we're expecting you to be here. Yeah. It's the closest one to Phoenix. And in my head, I'm like, I thought you guys forgot about me.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you guys just, so now I'm like, what do I do? So I told my family, and take in mind, this is after the embarrassment of year 4.
Oh yeah.
I told my family, hey, I'm not coming home for Thanksgiving. I was like, I need to spend a week on campus with no other students here and just really put everything into this, like fully zone in, no distraction.
You probably got some serious resistance.
I did, but it was like that kid with the kickflip. Yep. I didn't care.
Oh, you didn't care?
I didn't care.
No, yeah, exactly. You were all in.
I kid you not. Right after that call, I walked to every what's it called? Lecture hall until I found a room that was open. And luckily I found one. The door was unlocked. Grabbed one of their markers, and I'm talking with straight Einstein on the board, coming up with everything to bulletproof what I was about to do next. Because let me tell you, this is like
the Goodwill Hunting story of Joseph Allen.
Yeah, you're about to really hear how my brain works, because I was like, they're gonna pay for this. So immediately, what goes through my head? I've been reading books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, 48 Laws of Power, everything, all things on applied psychology, and my whole thing was, this is my last chance. I'm not trying again after this one.
Yeah.
This is the one, because after this, I graduate. Like that, I'm not going to keep playing with this and trying to figure it out. Like, I need this to happen now. So I go on the board and I'm writing everything that has to happen, but not just to pass through, to get a golden buzzer, because I'm like, they have to pay for what they've done to me emotionally.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I go on there and just get like 4 yeses, I'm like, people are going to hear about me, but I'm like, they're a machine. They break the internet when someone gets a golden buzzer. And I was like, that's what I'm gunning for. Because I'm like, 4 yeses will change my life. A golden buzzer will change my life my family's life, my kids' life when I have them, everything. A golden buzzer changes everything. Your life will never be the same. That's what I want. I'm on the whiteboard, and as I'm on there, I'm right. Oh my gosh.
Tell your girl to chill, bro.
Yeah, that's
she
exactly
knows. Hey, she knows you're in Indianapolis. She knows you're in Indianapolis. Actually, your girl can't know this.
And I'm like, she's probably thinking like, I just got to the hotel. I'm like, what the heck? All right. So I go up to the whiteboard and immediately I'm thinking, okay, what is something that would change my life? The type of song, but think about it. Every song I've been making on campus, I've been involving the students. I've been creating music that speaks to the audience. It's hitting me that I've already been doing applied psychology with my music.
Yeah.
I just have to bring that gift over. And I'm like, the anthem that you made for campus, you have to make an anthem now on America's Got Talent. But it has to be so subtle. You can't be on there talking about this is America's Got Talent. Like no one's gonna listen to a song like that.
That would be cheesy. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I'm like, you have to create that anthem, but make people feel it. So she just texted me right now. She's like, "Oh shoot, are you still on the podcast? I forgot you had that."
I was gonna say, if you need to text her back, you could take a second to text her back.
First thing I do on the whiteboard is I'm like, I need to eliminate threats. And I'm like, Simon Cowell on the world's biggest talent show is known as the world's toughest judge. So then I take notes from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in that book, it has a chapter where it says a person's name to them is more beautiful. It's the most beautiful sound to them in any language, their own name. And then you take into effect that movie with the jock and the cheerleader, right? And if she's at her locker, it's an old high school movie. It's like one thing when the jock comes up, boom, throws his hand up on the locker and he's just like, hey. But it's different when he shows up, boom, hey, Jessica. It like just hits that much
confidence. That AC Slater of Saved by the Bell.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But using a person's name, it really diffuses them. It makes them go, like this person just talked about me. So that's why immediately the first thing I write down on the board, use Simon's name and song. Diffuse the biggest threat. You win over. It's the whole thing where when you strike the shepherd, the sheep scatter. Yep. It was like target him. Then after that, I'm like, the viewers at home, you have to somehow connect to them because there's always that wall there, but the music you make has to somehow bring them in. So then I write down on the board, like there has to be moments where I break the fourth wall, like all these things. I'm writing everything down until I have a bulletproof plan, a plan that can't fail.
Yeah.
And then after I have everything written down, I knew, okay, this is what I got to do. And I had all of Thanksgiving break, a week, no students on campus, where I could walk around that whole campus and just become a madman, really, and try and visualize it over and over and create it. And it took me 4 days to write this song. And it's all I'm thinking about from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. And I couldn't even sleep well because as I would sleep, I would get another idea and I would adjust this part of the song. I would produce and think about it. I had now learned how to produce, how to engineer everything. So I'm producing the music. I'm trying to create from all the things that I've learned, like the right tones where it makes, but then I'm like, wait a second, I'm producing where people are going to be watching on their phones and on TV. So I'm like the kick drum. It can't be something with a lot of bass because the phone doesn't have subwoofers. So I need to distort the kick drums to where the viewer who's watching it on their phone, but then the people at home with nice sound system, like create these type of tones. And I'm just becoming a madman, creating the instrumental and then the words. And I'm like, okay, first I have to have Simon's name in there. So during the music break, after addressing the ones at home, it's the everybody backstage. Don't be scared because up close, Simon. And then I gave him what I learned from a book called Never Split the Difference. It's a negotiation book when it comes all about tactics that FBI negotiators use to get people out of sticky situations. What they do is they project. So they tell you, like if a person's in a bank and they're trying to do a robbery, they tell you, hey, it seems like you want to get out of this. It seems like you don't want to be in there much longer. And it seems like you just want to find a way to take care of your daughter. That's why you're doing all of this. right? And
Yeah.
immediately it's like FBI negotiators, they found out that these types of things work and making the person go, yeah, you're right, and starting to diffuse them. So the first part of the song, I say Simon's name. Then I followed up with, because up close, Simon looks just like a teddy bear. If you watch that video back, he said, I love you 3 times after the audition. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know why he said, I love you 3 times, but I know why. It's because every single line, every single thing I did was strategic and planned out from the very beginning, because I was like, when I show up this time, they're not going to have me sing for 2 hours and lead me on. They're not going to have me do all of these things. When I perform this song for them, they're already going to know. I showed up in San Diego. I'm asking my mom, hey, can you get me a hotel out here? Yo, my first credit card I ever had, I got it for that trip just where I could get the clothes I needed. And the only limit it gave me, I think, was $300 or something like that, $300 or $400 or something like that. I maxed it out in order to get out there to San Diego. Everything. I literally went to Bank of America that day when they shot over the email and was just like, yo, I need it. I want to apply for a credit card. And I knew it was my first one, so I knew they'd give it to me. I knew I was going to jack that credit card up.
You were investing in yourself, though, and you believe that hard, though, which there's no fail at that point, you know?
Exactly. And then I drove out there, begged my mom, like, hey, look, like I'm auditioning for America's Got Talent again. Like, can you cover the hotel? You know, and she books me a hotel. And when I showed up, I hit that song and they looked at me and they were just like, yeah. But what was crazy is when I first showed up, the thing that made me feel the most comfortable was one of the producers. He said, Joseph, we've been having our eye on you for a little bit. He's like, and then he said, a lot of people in Hollywood are like impressed with you or something like that. So immediately I was like, oh shoot, like the validation of me thinking you guys forgot about me now has been turned into like, oh, like you guys have been quietly watching me. And like, luckily, like the craziest thing I've done was got a tattoo on my ass cheek of, you know, So look, after they say yes, this is where I'm like conflicted, because I'm like, do I tell my mom? And I told them, I said, yo, I hear that you guys are saying yes right now. And I started crying. It almost makes me emotional talking about it right now. I told them after they were like, yo, we're moving forward. I told them, I was like, you guys got to understand, you really got to convince me that we're moving forward, because last year I told my family and I was embarrassed and I can't tell my mom that again. You know, and then they were like, yo, like trust, like you're coming onto the show. Like we got you, like we're going to move you through the whole process. This is your point of contact. You can have them text your mom, call your mom, you know, all this stuff. I was like, all right, it's on now. It's official. And yo, even after that, I hit up my mom, I hit up everybody. And of course, they're still kind of like, yo, like, okay, but like, we'll see, you know?
Yeah,
and they kept telling me,
yeah.
And then they kept telling me, they were like, well, don't get your hopes up too much. You know, you saw what that did to you, you know?
Yeah,
all this
of
stuff.
course, man.
Like, yeah. Now I'm starting to get confused, because I'm like, wait, did I get on? Like, do I need to be cautious, you know? And come December, bro, I sent the photo to my mom. I had like this real big moment where I broke down, where I'm talking that type of crying where it's like, it's that ugly cry where I had like snot coming out of my nose, everything. It was bad because my mom, she had asked me, because she's concerned, you know, it's like, it's my senior year, you're going into your last semester, and it was December right before Christmas break. And my mom had asked me, she was like, do you have a job like after this is over? Like you're going into your senior year. And then she kind of hit me where she was like, do you even have like, no, like where you're going to live, like an apartment, all these things. And I kept telling her, I was like, Mom, like after this America's Got Talent thing, like I promise you it's got, and then, I mean, she really just kind of, and it makes sense though, but she really let me know how she felt, where it was just like, stop, you know, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, just stop believing this stuff, because she was afraid, what if it ends up putting you out on the streets, you know? And yo, the type of pressure that I felt at that moment, it broke me down. I'm talking, I was wailing in my dorm room.
I can't.
Like that, where you're like breathing in heavy, and I couldn't figure out as a 21-year-old, like in this world where my friends, they have internships that they're already starting. And they're like, yeah, like I moved to Colorado like right after this. And then they're asking me, what are you doing after? And I'm just like, yo, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, I think it'll be dope. And it's like, well, you don't have anything lined up. Like we graduate in 4 months, you know? And then I was just like, yo, like, I don't know. And then in March is when they finally sent me the date, and they were like, you'll come out to LA March 19th. And they were like, March 19th, you'll come out. They were like, we filmed 2 weeks straight. And in these 2 weeks, we have 2 shows every day. So they'll have a 3 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show. And the 200 people that get to go in front of the celebrity judges, they send them out. You know, you're either in the 3 or the 7 o'clock show within these 2 week periods.
Yeah.
And the audience is interchanged for each show as well. 2 weeks, the judges, they just go hard. They do their thing. There's like an hour break where makeup comes out, redoes their makeup and everything. The new audience comes in. They come out like it's clockwork. The 19th was 2 days before those 2 weeks were over. So I was at the end. I was at the end of the audition process in front of the judges. When I showed up in LA, Howie Mandel was the only judge who still had a golden buzzer. All the other judges had already used theirs.
I didn't know that part.
No one does. No one did. So the pressure and that feeling of like, damn. But luckily I was scheduled for the 3 o'clock show. So I'm like, okay, like at least I get the upper hand on the guys who are in the 7 o'clock show. Like I can do it. And I remember being there, audience interchanging things. My family comes into town and I'm all ready. And you've heard like the type of preparation I put into it. Like I was ready to go. And someone got injured. Someone got injured earlier in the day during rehearsal, and they had to move things around, and I got moved into the 7 o'clock show.
No way.
I got moved into the 7 o'clock show. Today was I got into town on the 19th. I auditioned on the 20th, the last day of auditioning, 21st.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's hitting me is I'm like, if I'm in the 7 o'clock, that means there's only 3 more sessions left before it's over, and Howie Mandel has to use his golden buzzer. I'm like, he has to use it. And I'm like, dude, like you guys are kind of like, you know, just throwing me to the fence. I was like, dang. And I kept annoying all the workers backstage where I was like, how he uses golden buzzer yet? Did he use his golden buzzer? Did he use it? And they kept telling me, no, like just sit down, just relax.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But then what pissed me off even more is I could tell that like they were kind of treating me like I was just another one of the people coming through auditioning for the show. They didn't know how much I really put into it. Like, and don't take me wrong. Like, I'm not saying other people didn't.
Yeah, no, of course. Other people are putting their work in, but you're talking.
But when I say
this story started at 17 years old. I mean, I started earlier than that, but today it started at 17. Yeah.
But when I say that I left no stone unturned, I knew everything down so there would be people who were doing like the acrobatics and stuff. And I knew that gymnasts had really nice physiques. And even what went through my head is I was like, I don't want anyone to have an upper hand.
Yeah.
So I'm talking everything down to I was running 6 miles a day.
That's awesome.
And doing calisthenics, doing a whole lot of gym work, doing the gym 2 a days in the gym, just because in the back of my head, I was like, everything down to my muscles.
Yep.
I was like, I can't even let the gymnast have the upper hand of looking physically like they're like more attractive or more like anything. I left no stones unturned.
Yeah.
I was like, when I show up, I will be the best I could possibly be for this show. And when I got moved to the 7 o'clock show, I got super nervous. And when she looked at me and was just like, yo, just sit down. Like after you're done, you'll go back to the hotel, all this stuff. In the back of my head, I'm like, no, like the reason I'm asking you, and I told her that. I told her because I'm starting to take it real personal now. I'm like, I put a whole lot of my life into this, but on top of this, it's March. I graduate in April.
Everything was on the line, Joseph. Everything was on the line.
Right.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, you have to understand the reason I'm asking you is because if Howie Mandel still has that golden buzzer when I go out there, I'm going to take it. And she was just, all right. And then I stopped everyone and I had a whole moment. I was like, I'm letting all of you guys know now in advance that if Howie Mandel has that golden buzzer, I'm going out there to take it. I let everyone backstage know.
That's crazy.
And at that moment, they're looking at me like, yeah, like, and they're thinking like, like maybe there's just another person, you know, who's just like trying to, and I'm just like, all right, like, cause I started getting real tense where I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like y'all might be here. Like I saw some people who were there who were just happy to be there.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, this is my life on the line here. So immediately after the 3 o'clock show was over, I'm asking everyone, did Howie use this golden buzzer? Did he use it? Did he use it? They're like, no. They said he hasn't been having a good day today. I was like, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear is that he hasn't been having a good day. Because in terms of applied psychology, I'm going to smile. I'm going to make sure I make some good eye contact and show him some love. And I'm going to turn that whole day around because he has something that belongs to me.
Yeah.
So immediately when it was time for the 7 o'clock show, I was the third act on the list. It's go time. It is go time. And the first group that went out there, it was this dancing duo. They were from, I think, Spain. And they go out there and I'm standing on the side of the stage. And I had done this millions of times in my head. I rehearsed this on the top of parking garages at GCU, in my dorm room, in quiet lecture halls that have the stadium seating to where I could visually see like the seats going on. I rehearsed this, bro. I could do the song in my sleep.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I had run through my head the songs I would listen to before going out there. I knew that I was going to listen to J. Cole's Love Yours. Because in the song, you know, he talks about how there's always going to be a whip that's better than the one you got, a chick that's hotter than the one you got, like clothes fresher than the ones you rock. Like I knew I wanted to listen to something that was like from somebody who had already reached success before going. Like I had already run it all. And now I'm seeing it. I'm like, the moment is here. And the dancing duo, they go out there and I'm like, all right, guys, go kill it. You know, and I'm like, I'm watching and because they edited my clip because there's so much that goes on. It's like this podcast, you know, it's like there's so much, but you gotta try and make it just like the most juicy stuff, the best. Gotta try and make it the best.
It's your moment. You gotta take, you have a moment. Right. You gotta take that moment and run with it. Yeah.
Man.
So
the dancing duo, they go out there, and when they go out there, all of a sudden, the whole place shakes. Whole place shakes. And the music stops. I'm like, oh shit, like this is real.
Yeah.
And this was a couple that I just saw. They're looking at each other and they're like, yeah, baby, we're about to go out there and do our thing. You know, like they were like super pumped. And I'm looking and I'm like, yo, this is real life. Like they flew all the way out here from Spain and they're getting wrecked now. And then Simon, he starts talking and he's like, yo, that was horrible. Like that was you guys really came and I'm like, oh, this man really does this. Like he really like just crushes people. And Julianne Hough, she was one of the judges on my season. She hops in and she's like, Simon, like this is their life you're talking about. You can't just speak to them like that. And Simon, he's like, meow. He just hops on the mic and he starts meowing. Yo, the crowd starts laughing. And I'm like, yo, like what's going on? And like the crowd, it was so loud. Like the sound of their laughter just hit me so hard. And bro, I got tingles down my spine because I was like, it's almost like I knew. I was like, this crowd, they're lit. Like they're about it. Like they're interactive. And I was like, and my song was made just like how they were made on campus to create moments where the audience goes, ooh, like it's whole moments. I got like parts of the song. That build up. Where the beat's gonna cut. I'm gonna talk to you. Like I was like, yo.
But this moment was years in the making. Years in the making.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's that feeling of like, it's finally here. And I can like feel my heart. Ooh. Terry Crews is to my left, literally getting his shirt's off and he's getting a wardrobe change. I'm talking his muscles way bigger in person, like gigantic and crazy. And I remember like just feeling this confidence. And I'm like, Terry, I'm gonna make you proud when I get out there. And he looks at me and he's like, you better. He's just like laughing. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I was like, I just told Terry Crews I'm about to make him proud. And he told me I better. Like, this is why like all these thoughts are going through my head, you know? And then I tune back into the audience and Simon is just meow, still meowing. And Julianne is like ripping into him. She's like, Simon, you're disgusting. I can't believe meow. The crowd, the wave comes through again. And I'm like, okay, like this is it. And they come walking off the stage and she's crying. The dude has his arm around her. She's, oh my gosh. Oh. And then Terry, he's fully dressed now. And he's like, how are you guys feeling? And they're like, oh, ay Dios mío. And he's like, yo, like, all right. You know, and he hands them off to the psychology dude who like helps people like not feel so bad afterwards. And then, bro, this is when it turned up. Dom Chambers, a magician from Australia, goes out on stage before me. When I say this man's whole aura, his whole vibe just commanded attention. He steps out there and he goes, boom, and music starts playing. He grabs just a random paper bag. And when he grabs the random paper bag, he like goes like this, crushes it, and then a beer can pops up. Out of nowhere, he starts pouring beers like into random cups. They're disappearing. He takes his shoe off, pours beer out of his shoe. The crowd is just going crazy. He's like, what do you guys think of this? Boom. He reaches over here and it's like a little wine bottle. And then he pops it. It turns into a whole, like the crowd was just crazy. He was controlling them.
Yeah.
And the laughter that I felt earlier, it felt like just a breeze of like, now feels like a hurricane. And I'm like, yo, no. Boom, boom. He's just keeping it going. Oh, I mean, yes, but no, he's doing so great, but no.
Yeah.
Boom, another one. And I'm thinking he's about to get the golden buzzer. So then he's done. Yeah. Crowd settles. The judges start going one at a time. And all I'm listening for is Howie Mandel. Simon says it was amazing. Julianne, it was great. Gabrielle Union, oh, I loved it. Howie, that was the best magic show I've ever seen. Oh, no. That was fantastic. I can't wait to see you in the next couple rounds. You get a yes from me.
Ooh. Yeah, that relief. The relief. That relief is hard.
Because magicians always do well too. So
yeah.
That moment, I'm like, next up is me. And I'm like, I've done everything I have to do. I know this song like the back of my hand. And Terry looks at me, everything's moving quick, the camera's on me. And Terry's like, when was the moment you knew you belonged here on America's Got Talent? And I was like, I'm just saying shit at this point. I'm like, since the moment I started breathing, you know, and I'm like, I'm thinking in the back of my head, America's Got Talent wasn't even out when I was breathing, but whatever. Like, I always knew I was supposed to be on here. And then he's like, all right, Joseph, well, go do your thing. That's when I looked at him. And I was like, hold on, I'm gonna make a bet with you real quick. And at this moment, I'm like, yo, no, like this is my time now. I'm gonna soak up everything. I'm not just gonna walk out on that stage like everyone else you send out there. And he's like, yo, what is it? And I'm like, yo, I go out there and get the golden buzzer. You gotta come out there and pick me up. And he was like, say no more, I got you. And at that moment, that's when I was like, all right. Bro, I walk out, right? I walk out on stage. And as I walk out there, I see people going crazy right behind the judges. Tell me why randomly. GCU, it's a private university.
Yeah.
Its spring break doesn't line up with a lot of other universities. Randomly, about 20 to 30 students from GCU decided, hey, for spring break, let's go to California and see if we could catch a taping of America's Got Talent. Take in mind, I was supposed to be in the 3:00 show.
Those are goosebumps again.
Someone hurt. Yo, my God, it's so good. So good.
I'm buzzing.
When you walk, dude.
I'm buzzing right now.
When you walk by faith and you show God, the one who created, like people don't realize in the beginning of the story of the whole existence, it doesn't say that God grabbed a hammer and built everything. He spoke. He said, let there be light. And then after that, they figured it out. They figured it out. Then he said, let there be trees. He didn't say, yo, this is my design. He just said what he was going to do. Let there be trees. And then you don't even have to worry about the details. They figured it out. We can see trees to this day. He said, let there be animals. They don't tell you the process. It's just that man was so strong, so firm. Let there be this. And then everything else got to work until it existed. Then when he created human beings, he said, let's make them in our image. He's not talking about physically like the way you look. He's talking about how we have the same power to say, let there be this. And that's that. You first had to say, let's have a podcast. And because you're created in God's image, now people don't have to worry about the work that went into creating it. You guys have it. So for me, that relief that I felt from my creator of knowing I said I was going to do this. And he decided to somehow just randomly make 30 students from the school that I went to, where I did shows and performances. That's the only reason they recognized me. Randomly show up. He allowed someone to hurt themselves for me to get changed from the 3 o'clock show to the 7 o'clock show, for things to line up perfectly to where immediately what felt like America's Got Talent now just felt like that same situation at school where I'm doing a performance in front of students. But now the students and myself have an audience to watch how we do things. I felt right at home. That was the last puzzle piece that was needed. And I felt right at home. It was what I prayed for. I did the work of planting the seeds, tending to the dirt.
Yep.
But I can't control the wind. I can't control the rain. I can't control the clouds. God did all of that.
Yeah.
He controlled the clouds, the rain, everything. And we worked in harmony. And when it was time to perform, bruh, the moment the music started playing and I started singing, it was like quiet in there. In life, moments come and go. I'm just singing the hook. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Then the beat cuts. And when I started rapping, yo, the place got so loud. You're about to get a detail that I haven't given anyone. The place got so loud to the point where the studio monitors that were sending the music to me, I couldn't even hear the music coming from the monitors. But because I rehearsed the song so many times, I could feel the bass on the floor.
Oh, so you played off the bass. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mixed in with the rumble
so you didn't have ears in?
No.
Oh no. Damn.
No, they literally just have monitors, one here, angled at you, like on the floor in front of the X.
So you literally wow.
Well, think about it. If you're center stage, you can hear it. But if you're walking over here.
Oh no, if you're moving anywhere, you're getting out of that line. And if the crowd's going crazy, it's
right.
Bad. And if you're not in that directional of the monitors, you're going to start to hear the house, which is going to reflect off the back of the room.
Precisely.
So you actually rehearsed that long to actually understand the bass.
Without any music, I could still hit the pockets. But yo, there came a point, there was like a 2-second period where I was like, what do I do? Because I can't hear the music.
Yeah.
And then immediately my thought was just play to the crowd. And then it just became this whole moment where I'm like at the crowd with it and they're throwing it back at me. And it was just this whole thing. And that's the reason why when it came to the end of the song, bro, I just fell. I buckled. Because it was like, I knew.
It didn't even matter at that point, though. Like, for you, it probably, yes, you knew, but even if it didn't happen, it was going to be the next level and stage for you, because you went through 5 years, 6 years of leading up to that moment where there was continuously certain moments where you were like, I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And regardless if you got that golden buzzer at that moment or not, you wouldn't have stopped. And we all know that after hearing the story.
Yeah.
But you knew at that point that you were getting that. Yeah.
Yeah. Straight up. Straight up. And then this is details. Like, for example, when I walked out there, the students were going so crazy. I was going crazy with them. Bro, we were going crazy for about 40 seconds before Gabrielle Union finally grabbed the mic and was like, hey, like, are you going to introduce yourself? What's your name? What's your name? And I was just like, oh, shoot, like, what's up? My name's Joseph Allen. And then when Simon started talking, they didn't show this either because it didn't have continuity with the show because they never showed the Spanish group. But when Simon started talking, I started meowing at him like as he was speaking. And the crowd started cracking up because I was throwing back a meow at him after he just got done meowing. So there was like all those things they didn't show, but something they didn't show afterwards was right after I fell to the ground and right after Howie Mandel gave me the golden buzzer.
Yeah.
Yo, I pointed at Terry Crews and like I was yelling at him. I was like, you know what you're supposed to do, bro. You know what you're supposed to do. Nah, get out here. You know. And then he looked at production. They gave him the okay. And then he like dropped everything out of his pockets, like ran out there, picked me up. Like, bro, it was crazy. But here's the detail that no one knows.
Yeah.
After I was done, 2 more people came out and performed. They actually did have an audio problem this time. The audio engineer came up to me and they pulled me away from all the press, all the stuff that comes after a golden buzzer. And they told me, they said, Joseph, the audience was so loud during your performance. We're afraid that your microphone didn't pick up the audio of your voice. I wish I could explain to you how loud it got in there, bro.
Damn, dude.
So look, they had me come back out on stage and perform the song again.
Oh, for real?
Bro, no one knows this, dude. They had me come back out on stage. And when I stepped out there, everybody was going crazy. And they told the audience, they were like, this time we need you guys to just chill. They were like, we need you guys to just chill. And they were like, Joseph, run through the song. And they were like, this time we need to catch the audio for the microphone. So I got to go out there and perform the song. No pressure, no nothing, just like a concert for the fans, bro. Damn, it was crazy.
That's incredible.
And that's the audio. So it hurts me because I'm like, dang, like, I wish that like they were able to use like some clips from but they had to use a lot of like the fresh audio to put in for the song because like we got so into it. So you see the visual of like me with the crowd, but some of the audio is mixed in from me doing the song a second time.
Jesus, that must be incredible.
Yeah, man. Life-changing.
Damn. Dude, Joseph Allen, brother. Like this is
I feel like I just told
this is the best. This was the best steal of the show we've ever had, man. I got one. I'm actually speechless at this point. I feel like we need to do like.
I had some questions.
I did.
So did I.
I had a whole line of questions. But I feel like we need to do like a V2 of this moment. But before we hop off, man, we always ask our guests if you had an autobiography written about your life today, what would the title be?
Faith.
Yeah.
It would be called Faith. Because faith is the evidence. The Bible describes faith as the evidence of things that are not yet seen. But it's like seeing is like a sense. So it's like you can replace that with faith is the evidence of things not yet touched. Faith is the evidence of things not yet heard. Like faith is evidence. So if you go into court, if you have evidence, you have proof that something exists.
Yeah.
So faith is literally proof that what you believe exists. Henceforth, let there be trees. It's like faith is your evidence of going, no matter what happens, like I have proof this is going to come.
Yeah.
It might take damn near from a little microorganism to transfer all the way up into a tree, but you got that proof I'm going to get there because this is what I said I'm going to do. Faith. It would just be in bold letters across the top. It wouldn't have my name on it, and it would just say Faith. People be like, what the hell? They'll open it up and they'll learn.
That's powerful, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Allen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Woo,
this is
Joseph.
Lobster and Beer TV. Make sure you go cop the beer, pre-order. We love you. We'll see you next episode. Peace, brother. Hey guys, I know we got kicked out of the bar. They called last call, but we're back. And I just want to let you know we appreciate you guys so much. Our fan base means everything to us. So if you can, hit the like button, subscribe right here, and hit us up on Instagram, socials, everything. Lobster and Beer TV. We love you. We will see you on the next episode. Peace!